Okay, now we are going to start the third part of this lecture. I would like to call it Ethics, the Purpose of Life. We spoke about the acceptance of the Torah in Mount Sinai. We spoke about the difference between Judaism and all the other 80,000 religions and cults. We spoke about scientific proof for the written and the oral Torah. And now we have to speak about the most important thing. To prove, as you can see, it's a matter of 1 or 2 hours. The most intelligent a person is, he doesn't need more proofs. Now what's important is why God needed this entire creation. What is the purpose of this creation? As I said in the beginning of my words today, is that every creation has a purpose. We never found something without a purpose. And we see that the person is different than all the other 2 million species of animals that lives around him. All the animals live with instinct, and the people lives based on free choice. The only species in nature that is responsible for what he chooses to do, and therefore our life is full of jails and courts and police and all kinds of things, because we understand that we have to punish criminals because they could have lived without making their crimes. They could have chosen to do something better. The fact that we punish people, the fact that we have to have a justice system, we don't find any tigers or lions that being accused of murder when they kill the zebra or the deers. Why? They live with instinct. They're hungry. You cannot talk to them. Imagine somebody trying to tell the lion, please don't eat the zebra. Wait 5 minutes. We didn't finish taking pictures. Can you give us another 5 minutes? Do you think the lion would agree? There's anybody to talk to? Obviously not. A person is thinking, is listening, he's seeing, he's reviewing in his head what's to do, what's not to do, what's the risk. After reviewing everything, he makes a decision. The Torah says, I'm giving you today the life and the good, the bad and the death, and you should choose the life, which means you can choose the death. Nobody is forcing you. People ask, how can we have a free choice? Obviously, God knows the future. So if He knows the future, how exactly we have a free choice? And the answer is very simple. Even though it's a sophisticated question, it's a little bit complicated, or actually a lot complicated. And Rambam Maimonides wrote that if you use all the oceans as ink to your pen, you still wouldn't finish to answer all these scenarios, how it works with the free choice. The answer is very simple. Since God says in the Torah that all of us, with no exception, Jews and non-Jews, has a free choice, and we are subject to reward and punishment, and He gave us the book of law. By the way, a part of the Torah applies to the Gentiles. They have 7 laws to keep. And if they keep those 7 laws, they are righteous Gentiles. And they also have an afterlife in their level. Of course, it's a lower level because the test is much easier. But they do have. And they have a purpose. And they have obligations. And reward and punishment as well. And Jews, it's much bigger because it's only 613 laws. 613 laws, it's a lot. And the reward is much greater, but also the punishment is greater. Everything is equal. It's a free choice. It's balanced. So it's very interesting because, first of all, if a person wouldn't have a free choice, why God wasted this time giving us Torah? Why? If you say that I'm a robot, and I do not choose what to do, everything was predetermined for me what to do, where to go, what to say, what's the point of gathering me and giving me Torah? For what? It's not in my hand if I should observe the Sabbath or if I should kill or not. It's not in my hand. Of course it's in my hand. That's why God gave us the Torah, and with full of warnings. Why? Because we choose what to do. Second question is, why did He bother send so many prophets to warn the generation, Jews and non-Jews, to improve their behaving? If He moves them with a remote control and they do not choose what to do, what is He, playing games with Himself? Why does He need to warn me not to do if it's not in my hand? Of course, obviously, it's 100% in my hand. However, it's still hard to understand. It's not the end of the world. Not everything we could understand. Not everything. The Torah says, my thoughts and your thoughts are not the same, God says. My ways and your ways are not the same. Trying to compare your ways and your thoughts to my ways and my thoughts is like comparing a worm to an eagle. This is an analogy. Try to compare a worm that hardly moves on the ground to an eagle that can go from one side of the world to the other in hours. A person can think about one thing at a time, and he cannot do more than one thing at a time. God is supervising the entire creation, 6.4 billion people, 2 million different kinds of animals, trillions of things are in a move all the time. Oxygen, water, galaxies, asteroids are falling, rain of asteroid meteors are falling around Earth. And everything is being supervised. He has no limitation. Obviously, he's complete, he's perfect, controlling everything. In Judaism, the name of God is written in a very interesting way. It's 4 letters, a combination. The letter Yud, the letter Hey, the letter Vav, the letter Hey. Those 4 letters give us 3 combinations. First combination is the past. Haya, Hey, Yud, and Hey. It gives us the past. Hove, Hey, Vav, and Hey. We take 3 letters. It gives us the present. Iye is the future. Yud, Hey, and then Yud again and Hey. Gives us the future. Why God's name symbolize all 3 times at the same time? Past, present, and future. To teach us that He's not subject to time. Only the world of material has time. When you have material, you have time. When there's no material, there's no time aspect. And since God is not physical, it's something 100% spiritual that created this entire creation from nothing, from scratch. He is not subject to time. At the same second, when He created the entire creation, and according to Judaism, it's set for 6,000 years, and we are getting now close to the year 6,000, we are 230 years before the end. So once He set up this entire creation for 6,000 years, basically for Him it's already over, because He can travel in time. He can travel to the past, to the future. We have no understanding how something like this can happen. But to give us an idea is that if I give you an envelope and I write everything you're going to do from now until tomorrow night, and I tell you, do not open the envelope until tomorrow night, and you're going and doing it, and you see that everything you did, I knew. But I am somebody else. I did not tell you what to do and did not interfere. I did not give you instructions. You did what you wanted to do. The fact that somebody else is able to foresee what you're going to do doesn't mean he interfere with your choice. Even though it's for us, we are very limited in our understanding, so we're getting confused. I always say to the people, if you want to be a genius and start understanding everything, you probably will have to put your entire life just to understand how this concept works. Why don't you trust the word of God? God says in the Torah, we saw that the Torah is divine. Choose the good, that I should reward you. Do not choose the bad, that I shouldn't punish you. And God says to you what to do. You think He's going to lie to you or mislead you in any way? What's the purpose of that? He is begging the Jews in the Torah, I wish you would listen to me, that I should reward you in the afterlife for eternity, for you and your children ad olam, for eternity. I wish they would listen to me. I wish there will not be a stubborn nation, and many other examples, that is anxious, really, if I can say this word, if I can use anxious, that the Jews would listen to him and follow his instruction. What for? That they pass the test and they get the reward. Now you may ask, I got the point. Who wanted this test? I asked him to create me. Why did he set up this whole test? Because the Torah says clearly, I'm your God testing you. I'm testing you to see what you're going to choose. You're going to listen to me and listen to my commandments and follow them, or you would not. What's the purpose of the test? Comes right